All right, so the FCC has announced some restrictions on foreign-made inverters. And some of the headlines are saying that the grid is going to get locked out, or does this mean that your EG4, your SolarEdge, your Growatt, or other inverters are just about to stop working? The short answer is no, probably not. But there are some things and some misinformation and some things that we should know about and you should be aware of going forward from this point. So let me give you some information about what I do know. Keep in mind, if you hear anything that has been outdated or we find out isn't correct, please post it down in the comments below so that everyone else is aware of it. So what is actually changing? And what is not changing is they're not turning off your existing inverters. Okay, let's just start there. They're not shutting off your existing inverters. They're not disconnecting any of the existing systems. And they're not banning homeowners from using the equipment they have. So let's just get that out of the way at first thing. That kind of news is the kind of news that pushed me into making this video as quickly as I did, because you can see it all running rampant out there already. What it is doing is restricting on the future FCC authorizations for foreign produced inverter models. It's basically being driven by cybersecurity concerns from inverters that are focused on equipment connected in the US to the electric grid. Now, focused doesn't mean that they have restricted the law. It just means it's focused on that concern. So please keep that in mind as we go through this. Existing owners of equipment, big things that we should know. If you already own an EG4, a SolarEdge, a Growatt, a Sol-Ark, a Victron, SMA, Enphase, LZ-Power, or any of the SRNE variations of inverters, they're not coming to get them and they're not going to cut them off. There's nothing saying that these systems are going to be shut off at all. The FCC action is directed at new equipment authorizations and not disabling already installed equipment. That may come later, but it's not part of what is here today. So please keep that in mind. Let's go into talking point number 3. Let's talk a little bit about grid-tied users. Now, grid-tied systems communicate with the utility companies. They synchronize with the grid, and they often have internet connectivity for upgrades and reporting and that kind of information. But these upgrades that they're receiving aren't usually the kind of grid-tied systems that the government's worried about. In theory, imagine that you have a fleet of inverters and a bunch of solar farms that are all grid-tied, they're all feeding it, and they receive an internet upgrade that knocks them all out, that bricks them all. This is what the government law is basically really worried about, is the connection of large-scale grid-tied inverters that get automatic upgrades that can be hacked by foreign entities or even other cybersecurity threats. So that's what's really behind the policy here. So when you think of some of these laws, think of it from that perspective, not how does it affect me, because not all of this is about individuals. This is about the protection of the grid as a whole from these foreign actors. So as it stands today, you should keep using your systems. They're not banned. We're talking about new equipment, not your existing equipment. Don't panic. They're not going to just shut them off overnight. And I would expect a lot of the manufacturers to adapt to whatever policies need to happen. Whether that is put foreign control into local hands, or whatever the case may be, I would expect there to be some kind of compliance here, and for this to happen over a relatively short period of time. Now keep that relative word in mind, and that is an opinion, not a fact in any form or fashion. So please don't scold me in the comments for saying it's no big deal. So let's talk a little bit now about off-grid users, point number 4. Off-grid inverters aren't exporting power to the grid. They aren't supporting public utilities, and they may not even have internet connections. Now, keeping in mind, I'm not talking about a hybrid, I'm not talking about grid-tied, I'm talking about off-grid. They're not supplying exported power, and they're not supporting public utilities in any form or fashion. So, practically speaking, the concern is much smaller about these units. It's not complete absence of concern, but there is a lot smaller concern. They still have the ability to send out upgrades that could break your system. They still have ability with a lot of them to be tied into the internet to be able to shut us down. Although to this day, every test I have seen, every monitoring person who's done it out there, all the different creators or all the different science labs that have tested it, there has been no such sign of any type of tampering. It doesn't mean it exists. That means there's been no such sign as of today. Okay. However, if an inverter is still imported to the US, and it's going to be a newly affected inverter, regardless if it's on-grid or off-grid, there is nothing that changes from this rule for on-grid and off-grid. It doesn't really specify. I was talking more along the lines of that's what they're concerned about, not necessarily that's all they're worried about or all that it covers. This means that they're going to get harder to buy as these rules come into play because new equipment's not going to be able to just ship in at any time. That means the scarcity is going to increase. That means that the price is probably going to go up on inverters as the time goes by to start getting, and that we learn what the process is to get these things certified and get them back on the market. So it's not going to just be those that are grid tied. It's going to be both the on-grid and the off-grid. The concern is less about the off-grid, but it's still going to affect new equipment. That's something very important to recognize. All right. Being off-grid doesn't necessarily exempt future products from any of the rules whatsoever. And I know I'm repeating myself a little bit on that one, but I want to make sure I'm really clear on it. That although the focus of the law is on new grid-tied, grid-providing larger installation systems, it also applies to foreign-made, not U.S.-made. And there are still quite a few. There are some that are made here in the U.S. or have plants that are made here in the U.S. that will be exempt from some of these rules. So your existing off-grid systems are not at risk of suddenly being shut off because most of them don't have any access to have that happen to them in the first place. And a lot of off-grid personnel are disconnecting their internet anyway, except for very strict upgrades. Okay, number 5, let's talk a little bit about hybrid systems. Hybrid systems such as your FlexBOSS, your Sol-Ark, your ZLPower, and the variety of SRNEs and other ones that are out there that are truly hybrid between battery power and solar power and grid power, and the blending of those together to make a much more robust system for your house, where your ability is to use the battery, to use the solar, to charge your battery with your solar, with your grid, so on and so forth. This is where things really begin to become interesting, because these inverters can operate on the grid, they can operate off the grid, they can operate off of battery backup, and they can operate even off of a generator. The FCC isn't banning hybrid operations at all. Please keep that in mind. We're not talking about the banning of hybrid. We're not talking about the banning of on-grid systems. We're talking about the restriction of new equipment being made to ensure that there isn't a cybersecurity type risk to them being massively shut off and affecting the US grid. All right, this will impact future authorizations for all inverters practically across the board, and I don't see that any exception or any way around it based on the wording of this, it doesn't apply to one or the other. It may affect one or the other differently, but it doesn't apply to only one or the other. So let's move on to what changes for new buyers, because this is really the crutch of the whole thing. What is really going to change is there's going to be fewer choices on the market, because as the inventories deplete of the ones that are there that are already grandfathered in, there will be no new inventory unless they pass these new regulations. So that means you're going to see a scarcity of inventory. You're going to see delays in shipments. You're going to see manufacturers moving assemblies to the US, EG4, and a few others that have already started this process. And you're going to see, unfortunately, higher prices, because the supply and demand is going to kick in, and when the supply drops because the inverters aren't readily available anymore, the demand is going to go up, and that is going to cause the price to go up. And there isn't really a whole lot we can do about that except encourage these manufacturers to turn on the gas pump as fast as possible and start pumping out inverters locally so that we can build this. Maybe this will end up being a very good thing for our nation as a whole, in that it will give us truly a bit more independence from the Chinese or the other foreign manufactured equipment, such as Victron itself. It would fall into this category also. They're not exempt because they're not made in China. This is not a China issue. This is a foreign manufactured issue. So please keep that in mind. All right. This is probably going to be the biggest impact on the entire thing here. The scarcity, the manufacturing, the getting through the new process and getting everything approved and getting it moved in there. So this is where I would see the issues starting to arise. This brings us to our last point, which is point number 7. And this is where the real issue isn't China. The real issue is, should equipment that can remotely be updated with firmware and communicate over the internet be trusted to controls in part or in whole to our electric grid, to entities outside the US without our full control? And that has always been a question for us off-gridders in the first place. Do we even want that internet plug on there? Many of us, such as myself, have adopted to it very well, use all the monitoring tools, use all the internet connected websites, install the updates automatically and all that. Many of you do not. You have already unplugged, and you are probably ahead of the game here and prevented that type of risk from existing, even if they're harmlessly monitoring what you're doing only at this point. That doesn't mean that at some point in the future they couldn't affect us as a whole, or the grid, or the entire nation. And that is where the real concern comes here. This is not about China. China happens to be one of the largest manufacturers and will be affected by it most, but it isn't about just China. It's about all foreign manufactured, and Victron is the largest one I can think that would fall into that bucket. All right. If you own, let's just wrap this up real quick and just make this really easy for you. If you currently own a solar inverter, I wouldn't panic at this point. There's nothing in this action today that says that your inverter is going to stop working. If you're shopping for a new one in the next 6 to 12 months, I would probably go ahead and get that ordered now if you want to make sure that you get something, because the prices will probably, I am almost positive this is where we're going to see the largest impact, is prices and scarcity, and hard to get items are going to become much more hard to get. We're not going to be able to produce them at the rate that they could always produce them, and the competition is going to be very stiff because the choices are going to be so limited until they start getting through this process. Now, could I be completely wrong on this? Absolutely. I don't know any more than you know at this point. I spent some time reading about it out online, and thanks to Mike's Solar Garage for sending me the article. And I just, after I read it and went out and looked around a little bit, I realized there's a lot of concern here and I wanted to address it immediately. So there's a link down to his channel and his forums on in the description. Make sure you go out and sign up for that and give him a like and tell him thank you for pointing it out. One thing I would like to add is that keeping in mind the big risk here is the difference between the off-grid, the hybrid, and the grid-tied inverters. A lot of the grid-tied inverters are almost completely transparent that they're even connected to the internet, that they're even reporting. These systems were installed. At the day that they were installed, they were maintained by a third-party company, or they're just running with no intervention until there's an actual problem at some point. Then you had the hybrid systems, and a lot of those have been installed and they have some level of maintenance, less so to the inverter, into the full grid tied system. And then you have the off grid, but all of these can be professionally installed where they're maintained very little by the owner. And all of these nowadays can be also maintained in a DIY state where you're very much involved in those upgrades. It's the 90% of the world that's running this other half, not the DIYers that are really up to what's going on and have already disconnected their internet, don't allow the wrong upgrades and so on. It's the other group that's really the concern here. Those are going to be the ones that really are going to have problems. My expectations are for home installations to go up again, for inverters to go up again, for it to become very difficult to get the one that you want, and for there probably to be a waiting list for some length of time. So if you're thinking about getting an inverter, I'll leave the links below to Signature Solar where you can get your EG4 equipment. It'll all their other equipment is available. If you're thinking about getting one, I encourage you to do it now so that you don't miss out. And I want to say thank you for watching. My name is Matt. I'm here at MattMan Solar, going every day, working hard to show you all the different solar systems and to occasionally bring you a bit of news, good or bad. Today it's a little bit of news. Lately it's been a lot of full home backup, off-grid operations or grid-tied whole home systems. Hope you'll join me. Like, subscribe, share it with a friend that needs the help also. We'll see you both online, and don't miss the live stream Monday nights at 7 o'clock where all the questions are always welcome, and usually there's a really cool subject to talk about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.